Good morning, everybody. On today's show, it's the final consecutive streaming day of the week, and it is time to relax, sit back, unwind, and have a chill day here with me on DSPGaming. We'll be talking about everything I did this week, all the exciting new releases coming up, a little bit of news updates, and more on today's Level 1 podcast. Alrighty, indeed. It is Wednesday, the 20th of September, 2023. I'm DSP, and I welcome you here to the show. A fun week. A interesting week. Wow, what a week we had with multiple new game releases, big gaming news that wasn't foreseen happening. Yeah, it's been a good one. And I really enjoyed this week. I hope you guys out there did too. And I hope that you are ready today to relax, because this major stream right now will be very relaxing. We've got the Level 1 podcast followed by the return of Starfield for the first time in a week. You know, I really enjoyed playing Starfield quite a lot over that first 2 weeks that it was out, but then this week we definitely laid back and put it on the back burner so that I could cover the new releases, which was a good idea. By covering the new releases this week in the way that I did, I was able to get through all of the required single-player content in Mortal Kombat 1 that I needed to complete in order to play online. And I got a big tear into Lies of P, which ended up being way, way better than I had expected it would be. So this week has been a great gaming week, to say the least. In addition to all the gaming news that came out this week, I mean, humongous leaks about Microsoft and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm going to say, if you want to hear about all that, check out the last several days of content here on the channel. Notably for the Microsoft stuff, I covered it in depth yesterday right here on the podcast, so give that a look. What I'd like to do today is a little bit of a follow-up on what we did yesterday, which was Lies of P and Mortal Kombat 1 online gameplay for about 90 minutes last night for the very first time, to give you my initial impressions on that before we dive into, you know, what we'll be doing next week and all of that. But I will say this up front and try to just get it out of the way, all right? This has been a good streaming week. There's been some days that were incredibly good for engagement and support, and there's been some days that were incredibly slow. I think what it was the fact that I did have to do a required 8 to 10 hours of single-player content in Mortal Kombat 1 before we could get to online play. It was just necessary. If I didn't do that, I never would have unlocked the content that I needed to play online. So I'm glad that I did, but at the same time, a lot of people were turned off by that, okay? But I want to say, thank you overall. In general, things have been really well these past couple of days during Lies of P and during the multiplayer Mortal Kombat 1 last night. So thank you so much for that. Now, overall this week I had basically two goals. Goal number one was hit 650 members. And the truth is we did that, but then a bunch of memberships expired. We have not bounced back. So if you would like to help out today, one of the best ways that you can contribute is by gifting some memberships to the channel to help us hit our 650 goal for the week, which would be really helpful right now. In addition, I told you my goal was to try to kind of get bounced back from a few days of very slow support. In particular, tips were really slow, and we had that. The last couple of days have been absolutely stupendous. So today, you know, if you were thinking of contributing, tips would be a great way to do so. If we could hit this tier 1 tips goal on both streams today, that would be a great way to end the streaming week for me. Okay, so just throwing that out there. You know, I'm a crowdfunded individual. There's no product placements, no excessive ads. I only usually take one ad break, if that, during a live stream. I'm here to provide honest, fun, transparent content, and I'm not here to shill. So please support the content via crowdfunding if you enjoy it. Okay. let us now get into the meat of things and talk about what happened yesterday, because I really loved yesterday, all right? So here's the deal. Yesterday, here on DSPGaming, we played more Lies of P. Attendance was great. Support was great. Everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves, including me, because now we're 8 hours into Lies of P. And I don't want to spoil the plot, but I'm just going to say this. The game is not just a one-trick pony. It's not like, oh, the entire game is you're fighting robots. No. Yesterday, we got into entire new areas and new level designs and essentially fighting lots of different types of enemies, which is a great thing. You know, when you're getting 5 to 8 hours into a game, you don't want it to become the same repetitive ad nauseum crap. This game is not at all. It definitely went crazy into another direction with all new enemy types and things that you have to kind of learn. In addition, I started unlocking new weapons and things. I ended up getting a new secondary weapon that's a flamethrower that seems really cool against the new enemy type, and I'm really enjoying using it. And then at the end of the stream, I actually got my first boss weapon of the playthrough. Just like in Dark Souls, just like in Bloodborne, when you defeat a big boss, you get a giant soul. I guess they call it a ergo core or whatever in this game. And you could turn those into boss weapons, and I actually got a really cool agile, dexterous boss weapon for my build, which I'm going to try out next time around when we play on Friday. Plus, I got 2 special amulets, and I have to decide, what do I want to equip in my build now? I'm actually not sure what I actually want to equip in my build at this point. I have to kind of make that decision. So anyway, so far, I am loving the game. So we're 8 hours into Lies of P, okay? And you might say, well, what are its shortcomings? Because you want to know, where does it really not succeed? Well, let's see. It's got great graphics on the Xbox Series X. It runs at a smooth 60 frames per second and literally doesn't dip. I have not had any situations of dropped frame rate or slowdown whatsoever. It has run beautifully ever since I started playing the game. I love the atmospheric effects. I love the environmental effects, the lighting. Everything has been great. The music has also been great. Very similar to a Soulsborne style game. Gameplay elements, very sound. Kind of a little bit of a hybrid between all the different FromSoft games. You definitely have the Bloodborne-esque gameplay, but you got a little bit of Dark Souls, and you got a little bit of Sekiro. So it's kind of a hybrid of everything you've liked from FromSoft. Level design, it's exactly what you would want if you're a fan of the older FromSoft games. Now, if you really love Elden Ring and you like the open world, that's not what this game is. This game very much is designed, what do they call it? Curated. Hand-curated stages, where every turn has a hidden item. Around each corner, there's a different challenging enemy, and there's interesting secret areas to find, and there's even side quests. I've completed a couple of the interesting side quests that we found during the course of the game, and gotten random, not really random, but some interesting optional items as a result. There's lore. You can read the descriptions of items. You can talk to all the different characters in the game, and they all kind of have their own little dialogue and stories. So it's pretty much on par with what you would expect from a FromSoft game, but it's not made by FromSoft. So you might say, wait a minute, Phil, you just said, well, what are the shortcomings of the game? You literally didn't mention one. That's because I'm 8 hours in, and I actually don't have one yet. I'm serious. Like, I can't think of something in Lies of P that I don't like yet. We're basically at the 4th boss now. We're just outside the boss door. We haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what it is. But so far, I have really enjoyed the game. And by the way, before someone says, oh, well, Phil enjoys it because it's easy. This game is not easy. The second boss kicked my ass. The third boss took many tries to beat. I'm dying during the stages and the like. It's a challenging game, just like any FromSoft game. But I've kind of played so many FromSoft games at this point that I'm kind of used to this style, and I'm actually doing decently. I'm certainly not steamrolling it, but I'm having a really great time with this playthrough, and I think the people who are tuning in to view it are enjoying as well. Now, I'll be honest, it's not getting as much attention on DSPGaming after the fact as a FromSoft game would. The streams are doing good. Like, the streams were getting good attendance, good support, but I'm looking at the, on-demand viewership after. And, I've been playing this game since Monday, and it just isn't getting the kind of attention that a mainstream FromSoft game would get. In fact, my run of Elden Ring from months ago, the second run, actually got significantly more views and attention than me playing Lies of P. I honestly don't know why, besides the fact that there may be some kind of a innate bias against these non-FromSoft Soulsborne style games, and someone might be like, well, it's just another knockoff like all the others. Now, if you were talking about other knockoffs, for example, if you're talking about Thymesia or that other mech game where you were fighting robots from a year or two ago. By the way, those are landscapers outside. Or if you were talking about earlier this year, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, or, you know, any of these other ones, I would say, all right, I get it. But this one, as I've said, it really feels to me like it's Bloodborne 1.5. I won't go as far to say it's Bloodborne 2, because I don't think it really advances the formula as much, but by combining gameplay elements from the other Soulsborne games, like I said, there's a few elements from Dark Souls in there, like weapon degradation and other things in the leveling system, but there's also things from Sekiro, like the timed parries, okay? By combining all those elements, it does make it feel refreshing. I'm very much enjoying this game. I'll be honest, more than my second run of Elden Ring. I think that this game is better than the second run. Maybe Elden Ring is a better game that first run because of the exploration factor, but man, this game right now, 8 hours in, is actually very much blowing me away, okay? So, I understand some people right now in the chat, they're saying, what do you mean there's an audio? Who's saying there's an audio issue? What audio issue? There is audio sputtering in and out? Not on my end. Everything looks smooth. The connection quality is smooth. Everything is fine. I'm not sure what you mean. My connections are good. If the audio is cutting in and out, that sounds like a YouTube side problem. There are landscapers outside making some noise. Do you hear them? Is it annoying? You want me to close the window? I could close the window for a bit until they pass by. Sorry about that. I apologize. There's, like I'm saying, on my end, it looks like there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what caused it. It sounds like it was YouTube. YouTube's been having issues recently. A couple times this week, all of a sudden my connection to YouTube would go gone and then come right back. And people were like, what was that? And I'm like, it's not my internet because I'm still playing a game online. So it can't be my internet. It's got to be a YouTube thing. It sounds like they've been doing some weird stuff with their streaming this week. In fact, let me try something. I'm going to test something. Radical Jaws, just so you know, I want to test something. All right. If this happens, I swear to you this was not intentional, Radical Jaws. I'm going to try something, okay? Yeah, see, it didn't work. There's apparently, I'm going to try to fix this now. So Radical Jaws, FYI, I put you in a timeout. It's not a real timeout. I wanted to test something. I was actually told that this week, YouTube is trying different various things. And one of the things that they're trying to do is make it so that you can time people out for different lengths of time. But I don't know how it works. I just tried it and it didn't work. So Radical Jaws, don't worry, you're going to come back. I didn't purposefully put you in a timeout. I wanted to test this theory, and it didn't work. Yeah, because you're supposed to be able to click on them and then choose how long you want them to time it out, right? But I couldn't. It wouldn't let me. So my apologies, Radical Jaws. You'll be back in a couple of minutes, and, you know, don't take it the wrong way. You didn't do anything wrong. I was just a test, okay? I know you're a regular. I know you won't get angry at me. Okay, so yeah, I couldn't do it. Maybe it's only on certain versions. Maybe it's only on mobile. I don't know. But that's interesting because I should be able... That's what I mean. Like, YouTube seems to be tweaking streaming this week. They've been adding new features and doing things. And the funny part is, YouTube promised changes 2.5 years ago. Yeah, they said that they were going to actually significantly improve streaming, like, in 2021. And then they never did. And now here it is 2023, late 2023, and they're acting like they're going to improve it now. So anyway, if you see things, I'm sorry about the audio issue. If you see problems, let me know. By the way, I think I am going to close the window for now. It sounds like the landscapers are right outside the window here. Hold on. Loud out there. Okay. I'll open that back up in a few minutes when they're gone. But no, that's one of the things about fall. It's fall finally. Well, it will officially be autumn tomorrow, but the weather here has turned. Today it is cloudy outside. It is cool. It is wet. So that means it is fall weather, and I can have the window open every day, all day. I can have fresh air in here, and the blinds are actually cracked open. You guys probably don't know, but the blinds are open. I can get a little bit of natural light in here during the daytime as well, which I could never do during the summertime with the air conditioner in. So because of that, it's a lot nicer in here now. As long as we don't have hot, sunny days, which we shouldn't. According to the weather, it's supposed to be cloudy and cool for like 2 weeks. So we're going to have nice times here in the next few weeks of streaming. And I'm happy about that for sure. But the balance there is, if the window's open, you can hear the landscapers on Wednesdays. They come by every Wednesday. So you might hear them on Wednesdays. There's nothing you can do. Once they pass by here, I'll open the window again. Okay? All righty. So, guys, great stuff with Lies of P. So far, I am absolutely enjoying Lies of P a ton. Okay? I am. And I hope that you guys are enjoying Lies of P as well. I'm having a great time with it. I hope you'll check it out. Maybe if you're a Soulsborne fan and you are on the fence about possibly checking out this game, right? I would say, give it a look. Because it actually is, in my opinion, the best non-FromSoft Soulsborne style game that I've seen or played. It is superb. I actually cannot wait for more this coming Friday, okay? So, very good. All right, so how do we continue now that you know this? Lies of P, coming Friday. Please join me for more of that. I'm really enjoying it, all right? Now, last night I played Mortal Kombat 1. For the first hour, I went through Invasion mode, practicing with Raiden, and then I unlocked a lot of the new content, but there was one cameo that was still locked. But at that point, I was like, I sold everyone. I wanted to play online, and I was tired of waiting. So I went right to online, and we played about 90 minutes of online play of Mortal Kombat 1 last night. It was actually the first time I'd done the online play of Mortal Kombat 1. So here's my initial thoughts, okay? First of all, connections. Are you ready for this? Not nearly as good as Street Fighter 6. And this is the final game. This is not, this was the beta and they have an excuse. No. This is the final game, playing it on PS5 with the biggest player base available. The connections are nowhere near as good as Street Fighter 6. In general, when I play Street Fighter 6, I get the best connection I've gotten in Street Fighter 6 was like 13 milliseconds. But admittedly, that's kind of a rare case. I would say on average, my connections in Street Fighter 6 range from 30 to 60 milliseconds. There are cases where it's 80 to over 100. Those are the laggier matches. But in general, the majority of my matches are around 30 to 60 milliseconds. In Mortal Kombat 1, playing for 90 minutes last night, I had one match that was 50 milliseconds. Okay? Every other single match that I played last night was around 60 to 80, with a few that were above and so bad that the connection fluctuated during the match and made it unplayable. Okay? Frequently last night, as I was playing Mortal Kombat 1, the way it works is when you're playing ranked, you have a set best of 5. So you actually can keep rematching till you do a set of best, first to 3 wins. Twice during that, the whole game crapped out and dropped, and none of it counted. So we played multiple matches back and forth, trying to finish the set. Fucking networking crashes. Oh, too bad. The whole thing didn't count as if you never played it. Yeah. So, my first impression of playing the game online, not impressed. It's definitely worse than Street Fighter 6, and it is a lot less stable than Street Fighter 6. That's sad. They're trying to directly compete with Street Fighter 6, and they're really not. It's like the netcode is much more laggy, and it's dropping sets. That's not good. That's a bad initial impression. Okay, just being honest here, okay? So what about the gameplay elements? By the way, welcome back, Radical Jaws, and my bad, again, I was testing it, and it didn't work. So maybe someone else will know how to work this later. Sorry about that, it was not intentional. I hope you're all right. Okay, so I played with Raiden last night, okay? What do I think about the gameplay elements of Mortal Kombat 1? It's literally what I thought it was going to be, okay? Here's Mortal Kombat 1 in a nutshell. You either guess a high-low mix-up, meaning you're going to hit low and lead into some kind of a combo, or you're going to try to go for an overhead into some kind of a combo, all right? Or maybe a juggle in the air. If they're jumping, you try to juggle them out of the air into some kind of a combo, okay? Now, the variable that's different in Mortal Kombat 1 are these cameos. Because you have these cameo assists, you can use them to either extend the length of a combo, or you can use them to trick your opponent. So maybe you do a move that normally would look unsafe, but then the cameo comes out, makes it safe, but they didn't expect that, so then they get hit by the cameo, and now you can hit them and do a combo as a punish, you see? That's essentially 100% of the gameplay of Mortal Kombat 1. Like, that's it. That's really all I have to say, because that's all there is. It's not like there's advanced tactics. It's not like there's tons of strategy. It's just you got to fool your opponent into blocking the wrong way and land a combo. And that's it. Okay? Compare that with Street Fighter 6, which has tremendous amounts of gameplay elements, right? You got parrying, perfect parrying, drive rush, drive impact, drive reversal, throw breaks. I could keep going. That's just the first few things. You know what I'm saying? This game is incredibly simple compared to Street Fighter 6. So what ends up happening, all right, is the game basically becomes more about specific character mastery than actually mastering the engine, because there's nothing to master in the game engine. You see, it's so basic. It's more about having lots of character knowledge. So, for example, I played for 90 minutes last night. I lost one set all night. Okay? Who did I lose to? A Scorpion player. Why did I lose? Because the Scorpion player knew that he had one combo that he could keep doing. It's like a 3-hit combo. And if I blocked it, he was fast enough, because Scorpion's faster than Raiden. So he was fast enough to then jab and then just do the combo again. And he just did it over and over and over. And my Raiden had no answer. Now, maybe Raiden does have an answer for it. Maybe there's one specific thing I could have done to interrupt it, but I don't know that. It's day one. I don't even know what I'm doing, right? No one should really know what they're doing yet. So he got away with it. And he literally just did it over and over and over, and there was no answer. Now, if this were Street Fighter, he was like, okay, well, you can parry. Well, you can perfect parry. Well, you can drive reversal. That doesn't exist in Mortal Kombat. So, literally, it's all about having character knowledge. Now, the other answer could have been, well, I've already mastered all my cameos, so I know there's a cameo I can call out to interrupt his combo string. But again, don't know that yet. That's character-specific knowledge. That's different than a gameplay mechanic that you use for basic gameplay to learn the game, you see? And that's what I feel is going to be the big shortcoming of Mortal Kombat 1. It's very simple. Yes, you can have flashy combos. Yes, there are things that will be more complex, but they're all based around character knowledge rather than engine knowledge. And that's actually, in my opinion, a big shortcoming of the game. You're going to have people who studied and immediately are knowing what's safe and what's abusable, while others are trying to learn and they just have no way around stuff, you know? But in general, just to give you an idea, I won, like, all my matches except the one against that Scorpion, because everyone was just trying stuff out, and essentially people were trying high-low mix-ups, and sometimes I would fall for it and then say, okay, I know that's a high-low, now I'll block the right way this time, or I would interrupt them with my own high-low mix-up. But in reality, it's just as simple as all the other Mortal Kombat. Sometimes you could just low jab through a lot of stuff, and it's stupid that that's the case because it makes entire things worthless. Like, there's move strings and hit strings in this game that are completely worthless because someone could just go, beep. So why is it in the game? If it could just be beaten by, boop, then why did they even put it in there? I don't know, but it's in there. Yeah, but the thing is, when I was basically playing this day one gameplay, I was beating everyone up who didn't know how to play. I didn't either, but I have innate knowledge. I've played the last 3 Mortal Kombats. I know some basics about the franchise. So I was doing pretty good. I was doing basic combos, nothing too special. It would be like, you know, a combo opener that leads to a juggle, a few hits. Then I would do a couple hits in the air, and then Raiden has this air grab, and then he bounces you off the ground, and you can do like a finisher. When I was in the corner, I would mix it up a little bit and go back to low-high combo, so they didn't know how to block, and every once in a while mix it up with a throw. Nothing special. Nothing advanced. I'm not good at this game. I want to make this very clear. I am not good at this game, nor do I think I will ever be good at Mortal Kombat 1. Okay, I just don't think that's happening, because I don't think I'm going to invest enough time to really care that much about it. But I get what the game is going for. Honestly, I'm not really impressed. It's definitely a flashy game. The graphics are nice. And when you get like a brutality, because Raiden has 2 really cool brutalities. One, he grabs your head and pops it. And the other, he's hitting you with electricity, this big electric vortex, and he lifts you up above his head. And he goes, oh, your body just explodes everywhere. It's really neat to get those. Really, it's cool. But it's all flash and not a lot of substance, in my opinion. And it's funny because, again, the one player who beat me was a Scorpion who obviously had studied combos before the game was even out. Figure that one out. And he already knew a 50% plus combo for the game. So he would hit me once and then do a combo string. Here comes a cameo, hits me twice. Then he does another combo. Cameo comes out, hits me twice. Then he launches. Air combo, does the chain, pulls me forward. Air combo, ground. I've lost half my health bar. And that's going to be the whole game, by the way, just so you know. That will literally be the entire game. It will be get one hit, lose 50% health. In this game, you can interrupt a combo once per match. Okay? So if you're getting hit, like, oh God, they're going to take half my health bar away. That's your opportunity to break the combo, but you can only do it once a match. So you have to do it right, you know? That's going to be the whole game. I'll tell you right now. I absolutely, positively can tell you that will be everything. Everyone has a 50% or more combo. Everyone will just be trying to hit it. Everyone will be doing the ultra safe hit string into jab into another ultra safe hit string. And every once in a while, a cameo comes out to interrupt or extend the combo. That's the whole game. You'll never see anything more advanced past that. I mean, you really can't, because there's nothing in the engine to be more advanced than that. You see, they didn't put in gameplay mechanics to make it better. They did have more advanced gameplay mechanics in Mortal Kombat 11, and they took them all out of Mortal Kombat 1. They went a step back to go back to the similar gameplay of Mortal Kombat 10 for some reason, and now it plays way more simply. So, for an hour and a half of gameplay, I didn't have a bad time. It was day one. A lot of people had no clue what was going on, so I was juggling them. I was doing mix-ups. I was doing brutalities and stuff. It was fun. But I'm playing this, and I'm like, it's just not, from me, from the kind of fighting game player I am, this is not competitively sound. This will be a fun mess-around game, but the moment you get someone who, oh, I studied every character, and I found out that your character is too slow, so let me do combo, jab, combo, jab, combo, jab, combo, jab, oops, you didn't block, 50% combo, haha, combo, jab, 50% combo. Wait, what? How is that fun? You know what it reminds me of? King of Fighters 15. Another game that was incredibly similar. All you're looking for is a little hop hit into a 50, 60, 70% combo. It's not fun. That's not a viable competitive engine. Why do you think Mortal Kombat never lasts about a year? It goes about a year, and then it just falls out of competitive circles, and no one really cares about it. This is why. They've never advanced their game to the point where it's going to hang, because it has more advanced engine where people will want to learn nuances and things. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, right now in Street Fighter 6, we're, 3.5 months in? And we got people like Snake Eyes, who have mastered the game engine so much, he's winning tournaments with Zangief, arguably the worst character in the game. You're never going to see people in Mortal Kombat 1 mastering the worst character in the game and winning tournaments with them. They won't care. You understand what I'm saying? There's not enough to it. It's too simple of a game. And that's sad that in 2023, NetherRealm didn't really put in the effort, because Street Fighter 6 absolutely did. And NetherRealm does look like they just wanted to put out another of the similar style game, and just having cameos is just enough. I mean, no, it's not. It's a gameplay element that's been in other fighting games. We've seen it already. It's not anything special, but you're acting like you've redesigned your whole game from the ground up with it. You didn't. You went back a step to play like MK10, and you added in an assist feature that's been in games since, the 1990s. So that's not a brand new fighting game. In fact, it's more simplistic than I would like. So, quite frankly, no, I don't think that I'm going to like this game competitively, just being honest. Now, does that mean that I'm not going to play it more? No. I'm going to play it more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to treat it much like I do Street Fighter 6. So if we're going to do a session of it this coming Saturday, because that will be the next session I play of it, I'll take a character, I'll go into training mode and mess around with a few basic combos and special moves. I'll go into their trials and try to do a few of their trials to learn basic strategies and combos. Then we'll go online, and we'll play for 2 to 3 hours online with that character. And that's how I'm going to treat it, okay? I don't know how it's going to last, because that's what I've done with every fighting game before. If, within a few sessions, already everyone's learned insane 50% combos, unstoppable combo mix-ups that you can't interrupt, I'm just not going to bother with it anymore. I'm not going to invest enough time into Mortal Kombat 1 to learn insane amounts of character knowledge so that I can learn matchups and stuff. I just don't care about it enough. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you up front, I know from a competitive fighting gamer's perspective, this game ain't it. It's what it's always been, and that's why it always fades away within a year. While other games like Tekken and Street Fighter persist, Mortal Kombat always fades away every single time because they just don't make it competitive enough. So, we'll see what happens, but I am playing it more starting this weekend. We'll have major streams of it, me trying out various characters in an online setting after learning a little bit offline, and we'll see how it goes, okay? So that's my thoughts on MK1. Sadly, I really wish, I was hoping, playing the full version, that the connections were going to be much better. We had matches where the game was like chopping and freezing and then teleporting. It was bad. I was like, dude, that's not good. This is supposed to be the final game. Tons of people bought it, and the connection is half as good as Street Fighter 6. That's a bad sign. Okay, I'm going to open my window again. Maybe I'm not. No, I guess not, because I can still hear them out there. I was going to, but now I hear them out there again. So I'll wait a few more minutes. I'll probably open it up for when we start gameplay. Okay, so anyway, I do want to say thank you all for a very supportive week. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you all enjoyed all the content I put out this week. I definitely enjoyed all the content I put out this week. And just thank you so much for everything. Okay? There you go. Now, before we get to anything else, I just want to check one thing because someone said something. I don't believe them, but I want to test it regardless. I don't think it's truthful. Yeah, it's bullshit. I knew it. Okay. So, let's get right away to your favorite segment, my favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment of the Level 1 podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DSP News, but I didn't color it correctly. Hold on a second here. I forgot to color it, and I'm very upset at myself. There we are. I want it to match. Okay, now it matches. DSP News for the day. What do we have in the news today? Well, a couple quick things, okay? Number one, yesterday, there was a digital event from Ryugagoto RGG. I never know how to pronounce their name. This is the company that makes the Like a Dragon series. Okay? Oh, by the way, hello, Jade. Sorry to hear you're not feeling well. And I'm glad that you're enjoying MK1, but I hope you feel better today. Okay. So they had a big digital event last night. And the big announcement was that Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is the next RPG style Like a Dragon, I guess you could essentially call it Like a Dragon 8, is coming out on January 26, 2024. Okay? So that is the worldwide release date. And they showed off a lot more stuff. They actually showed that it's going to have a lot of actual Sega games in it, including Sega Bass Fishing, Sega Spike Out, and Virtua Fighter 3. As you know, typically in the Like a Dragon games, they include classic, like, legacy Sega games as kind of mini-games in the game. So those will be available. They showed off a lot of stuff about the game. There's not much to say outside of the fact that, yeah, it's right in the spirit of what you would expect from the first game. As you know, I absolutely loved Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon, which was the transition of the franchise from a action-based RPG to a turn-based RPG game. So I absolutely am looking forward to this one in January. So, yeah, very exciting. Now, here's the thing. This, of course, is going to make it that there's absolutely no way I'm playing Persona 3. Just so you guys know, this game comes out in late January. The Persona 3 remake also comes out around the same time. And then in February, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There is absolutely, positively no effing way I am playing all these RPGs. It just can't happen. So Persona 3, sorry. That's just really bad timing for a... by the way, I'm just going to start banning these fake accounts. Here we go. It's just really bad timing for a remake like Persona 3 to come out, because I would much rather play the brand new games coming out than these other ones. Do you see what I mean? Wouldn't you want to play the brand new JRPGs rather than the remake one? So it's also very odd, because why on earth are there 3 major JRPGs coming out within 30 days? When do you ever see that? Why are they all releasing at once? I have to say it. Again, it seems like in the video game industry, there's this weird situation where no one has awareness of anything else going on in their own competition. You should know that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot if you're releasing a JRPG around the same time as all of your other contemporaries, right? You should be spacing out that particular genre of game. I'll give you an example. What do you think would have happened if Street Fighter 6 released the first week of June, Mortal Kombat 1 released the second week of June, and Tekken 8 released the third week of June? Do you think they all would have done great? I mean, give me a break. I mean, they know better. Why do you think they spaced them out? June, September, January. So that each game has time to shine. They're not dumb. But why is it that other genres, JRPGs in particular, don't seem to have this awareness. It really makes me wonder what's going on, right? So, yeah, I'm very excited to play Yakuza 8 or Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth in late January. I'll be playing the heck out of it because I loved the first game, right? But I'm also very excited to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in late February. I will not care about any other RPGs between. So, Persona 3 Remake, sorry, you got screwed. If anything, I would delay the game. Seriously, I mean this. If I were Atlas, I would purposefully delay the game. I would say, you know what? You're out of your mind. There's no way we're going to sell this game right now between two new ones. Let's put it out to the summer. In the summer, it's usually slow. That's what I would do. But I don't think they're going to do that. Yeah. This is hilarious. Baby Orangutan said, I thought you didn't like a Dragon that much. Yeah, that's why I gave it like Game of the Year, right? Anyway. Continuing on. Continuing on. Folks, I hate to say I told you so. I really, really, really hate saying I told you so. I don't like these kind of moments. When it's an I told you so moment, that's something negative. But a lot of people always discredit everything I have to say because they want to have negative memes and toxicity and stupidity towards me on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, it was announced yesterday, officially. You ready? To the Evil Dead the Game community. Today we have made the decision to not pursue development of any new content for Evil Dead the Game. We also confirm we will not be releasing a Nintendo Switch version of the game. We will keep the servers up for the foreseeable future. We'll address any issues that might arise. On behalf of the entire team at Saber, thanks for all the groovy times and your continued support. For those who don't know, Evil Dead the Game came out last year's spring. So it's been out not even a year and a half yet. And the game is dead. They're never updating it again. It's done. What is Evil Dead the Game? An asymmetric horror game. You know, the same year that there was also an asymmetric horror game released that was fucking Dragon Ball. The same year that there was an asymmetric horror game released that was Ghostbusters. And now we just had an asymmetric horror game released that was Texas Chainsaw Massacre that's on Game Pass. So it's like, again, and it's funny because if you read the comments of their post, because they posted this publicly on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, all the comments are saying stuff like, another one bites the dust, here we go again, why does everyone keep copying Dead by Daylight? That's what it says. I'm not making that up. It says that in the comments. All right? So, to me, I'm like, it's exactly what I've been saying all along. Why in the holy hell did they keep making the same exact game over and over with different IPs? Do you not understand? There's only a very limited amount of interest in those style of games. They'll only last a few months of mainstream interest until the next one comes out, and then it shifts to that. And then the next one comes out, and it shifts to that. But then at the end of the day, they all fade away and go away, and Dead by Daylight remains. Because it was one of the original, probably not the original, but it was one of the original, and the best, in my opinion, from the ones that I've seen. Everyone else bites off the formula of what Dead by Daylight has done. And if the original and best still exists, why would you invest significant time in the next knockoff, spin-off attempt to ride the coattails? You know what I'm saying? When Evil Dead was announced, when Evil Dead was released, everyone said to me, Phil, will you play it? And I said, no. It's an asymmetric horror game. It's going to play just like Dead by Daylight. It's not going to last. And the same thing has happened. By the way, Dragon Ball The Breakers, that's like $5 if you want to buy it somewhere. The Ghostbusters game is like $5. No one cares about these games besides more than a few weeks. Then they're as if they never existed. Like I call it a fart in the wind. That's all they are. And I don't understand why they keep making them. Nor do I understand why people keep hyping them and acting like they're a big deal and even asking me to play them. They don't matter. They're all the same shit. So, are you shocked to hear this? I'm certainly not. You want to know? I'm shocked it lasted a year and a half. I thought it would have been like 8 months. I thought that when all those came out last fall, this would have died. But, you know, it lasted a year and a half. So, rest in peace to Evil Dead, the game. Sad to see any game die like that. But at the same time, again, I told you so. Like, I knew that that shit was going to happen. And it's not surprising in the least. That genre, again, has a very limited base where it can succeed. Okay? And I don't think that everyone trying to copy what's already been done and not really doing it better is the right way. Just because you're throwing a new IP at me, oh, today it's Ghostbusters, tomorrow it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, maybe tomorrow we'll have Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the Scream Ghostface will come after you. Who cares? It's the same fucking game over and over. Do something original or don't make the game again. You know what I mean? Stop copying. Okay. Yeah, I know. My Ruin just said, what about Killer Clowns? Yeah, I know. They're making it again with the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's the same fucking game. Anyway. Okay. The last story for today, before we get to open discussion, a follow-up once again to the giant Xbox leaks from yesterday. If you remember, the biggest game leak in history, supposedly internal privatized documents from Xbox/Microsoft Gaming were accidentally uploaded to a public place on a court's servers, and the public found them, downloaded them, and put them all over the internet. This included plans for a brand new line of consoles next year. This included brand new controller plans. This included a slew of unreleased games, as well as internal emails from guys like Phil Spencer talking about strategy, like their attempt at maybe wanting to buy out Nintendo, or how they were very upset about the game lineup of 2022, and other internal communications. So this is a huge problem, huge embarrassing leak for Xbox and Microsoft in general. First of all, Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley has confirmed it was Microsoft who accidentally provided the federal court with a link to unredacted Xbox documents, which were then uploaded to the internet page established for its case against the FTC. So, I guess what was supposed to happen was that they were supposed to be providing a link to a secure web page with like login credentials needed. And instead, they provided a link to a web page that had absolutely no login credentials needed, so anyone could access it. You see? So, I guess what happens is during these court proceedings, they file it all online, and you'd have a page of, here's all your supplementary links to all the data from the case. But you're only supposed to be able to access these with permission. Microsoft created a link that didn't need permission. Anyone could access it. So that it was basically, it was a oops on Microsoft's part. They weren't following the rules of what the court had told them to do. So, yeah, apparently it's a big oopsie on Microsoft. I mean, who did that? I don't know, but that's sad because, man, what a leak. So, by the way, Phil Spencer officially responded to this. I'm just going to read some of his statements, okay? First of all, Spencer hints Microsoft's plans may have changed, particularly as some documents were from last year, but others were from many years prior. I know this is disappointing, even if many of the documents are well over a year old and our plans have evolved, said Phil Spencer in an internal memo to his company. And Spencer also shared a statement on Twitter /X. We've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. It is hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there's so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share real plans when we are ready. He then reiterated real plans to his message in an internal memo to all Xbox employees. We all put incredible amounts of passion and energy into our work. This is never how we want that hard work to be shared with the community. That said, there is so much more to be excited about, and when we're ready, we'll share the real plans with our players. Which basically just says that it's outdated, it's probably not all true to this day, but oopsie poopsie, we made a big mistake, and don't treat it as like the law of everything you read, but essentially he's confirming it's all real. Because if it wasn't real, he would just say, yeah, it's not real. But if he's like, yeah, it's real, oops, it's kind of sad. All right, so anyway, yeah, interesting what happened yesterday. And if you have any information, if you want information about what we're talking about, yesterday's podcast, I went to it in great detail, so you can watch yesterday's show and kind of get caught up on that whole situation. What a leak, what a crazy day it was for Microsoft, and I mean, now we kind of even know what's coming. Here's where I feel bad, because essentially now their competitors already know what's coming in the pipeline. You know what I mean? It's not like, even if we know that some of those documents were outdated by like 3 years, we still know some of those games that are in development. We know what's coming, and now their competitors kind of know exactly how to counter that or maybe compete with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know there was a new Doom game. We didn't know there was a Dishonored 3. We didn't know that there were remasters of Fallout 3 and Oblivion in the works, and apparently they're very close because they were, so in those internal documents, some of them even said that like Oblivion was supposed to come out this year, and obviously it didn't. So probably within the next 1 to 2 years, you know. And it makes you wonder, you know, now will the competition say, okay, well, now's our chance to jump on this or that, or, you know, Sony already is working on a new PlayStation for next year that's going to be driveless, and now we know that Xbox is doing exactly the same thing. So, yeah. Zed Shuriken says, anything you saw that you think is bad has changed. That's not real anymore. That's pretty funny. Because essentially that's exactly what he's saying, too. That's how he's supposed to be spinning it, right? Okay. Hold on a second. Let me open my window again. Oh, never mind. The guy is seriously right outside. Oh, my God. Is the date of the stream wrong? Okay, let me fix. People are saying that I dated the stream wrong today. It says September 19th, but it's actually September 20th. Okay, let me fix that. Thank you for telling me. Okay, fixed. Thank you for telling me. Now I dated it correctly. Okay. All right. So, I swear I want to open my window. I have to wait because they're still out there. All right. So, guys, that is all I got for news today. We have a shout out to do, and then basically we're just open Q&A unless anyone else contributes in some way. Then I'll shout it out. So we start off today with Spawn Killer, who did a $15 super chat. Let's get him up on the leaderboard as the first contributor of the day. Keep in mind, my goals for today are as follows. All right? Goal number 1, hit 650 members by the end of today. That was my goal overall for the week. We hit it, and then we lost members. I want to get back to where we were, so please consider becoming a member or gifting memberships today. Number 2, I want to hit the Tier 1 tips goal on both streams today to have a solid ending of the week to make up for the slow streams that I had earlier this week. That would be great. So either tipping or memberships or gifted memberships would be the best way to support today if you could. Thank you so much. Okay, so Spawn Killer says the following. I've been on YouTube since 2008. Man, I do wish that they would go back to old YouTube where you could customize your channel. Yeah, it's been ages since they took away that that capability. You know, you used to actually be able to have completely custom designed channels on YouTube with artwork all over them. You could make it have words and playlists. You could actually set up a schedule so people could actually see just on your page what you were doing rather than have to look through a separate post. Like, I have to post every day here on the community tab a schedule I make in like fucking, you know, a text file. They used to have an integrated way to post up your schedule on the YouTube page. They got rid of that. They got rid of any customization of color, pictures, anything. All removed completely. Just because they basically wanted it to be more uniform so it would load on mobile devices. To this day, YouTube still does not work properly on mobile devices. So all that, and here we are a decade later, and they still didn't do it. But I mean, that's par for the course for YouTube and Google in general. They make sweeping changes that are a detriment to everyone, claiming that it's for everyone's good, and then they never properly implement the changes regardless, so it's just a waste of everybody's time. They do this all the time. Remember Google Plus? Well, that was a good idea, wasn't it? And then it completely screwed everything up for people for years. Yeah, a really great idea. Okay. Anyway, that's what I got to talk about today. So now we have some open time for chill Q&A and shout-outs for anyone who contributes. Crispy Bacon says, hey, hope you're having an awesome week. It's been a great week. It really has been a great week here on DSP Gaming and in general. I've enjoyed all the games we're playing. We're having a good time. I actually can't wait to relax in Starfield. I'm disappointed we didn't get to play more Starfield this week, but we'll have a great solid stream today. It's going to be a good time. Okay. Liza P is so good, says Abdullah. I agree. I'm 8 hours in. Like I said earlier, I literally don't have a single complaint about the game yet. I don't know if it'll retain that level the entire game, but it's a very rare situation where I'm playing a video game and I'm 8 hours in and I can't complain about it. I'm pretty good at complaining, and when I can't find something to complain about, that's a rarity, and that's what I'm feeling about Liza P right now, so I guess we'll see. Okay. Darziak says Google Plus, then Google Stadia. I just can't. I'd love to see what's next from them. Oh, yeah. All their big ideas that always turn out. It's hilarious. I'm telling you, some of these companies, they fail up, do they not? Like, what has Google actually done? A browser, a search browser that became the best one in the world and everyone uses, and because of that, they have infinite wealth, right? So because of the infinite wealth, they can continuously fail. I would say there's some things like that Google phone. Apparently that's very popular. What is it called? The Google Pixel? I guess the phone is really popular, so that's a win for them. It's not all losses. It's just that you heard way more. What about Google Glass, right? You hear more about their failures than their wins, I guess. But then you always forget, every time I search for something, I use Google. Yeah, literally every time you search for something, they get paid. So, pretty crazy to think about. All right. Crispy Bacon, I don't know what you mean. He said, at least someone stands up for gamers. That genre is overhyped. What are you talking about? Are you talking about asymmetric horror? I'll agree with you there if that's what you're talking about. Google Nest and Google Home are not bad. Google Nest, is that not the device that when you come home, it'll do everything for you? It can adjust your lights. It turns things on and off. It even does it even do security and stuff like that? Is that what Google Nest is? That is true. Zen Shuriken says Google Chrome. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Google Chrome, the browser that a lot of us use. I use Google Chrome and Firefox. Those are the two browsers I use. Every time you use Google Chrome, ads play, they make money. Thank you, Rack. I am having a good day. Thank you for that. All right, now I'm going to open the window. We'll just have to put up with some of this atmospheric noise because I need some air, man. It's going to be way too freaking, damn, it's loud. It's going to be way too freaking hot in here if I don't open this window at this point. So everyone just put up with it for a few minutes. He'll be gone in a couple of minutes here. What? What'd you guys say? What? Anyway. When is the next Mortal Kombat stream? Asked Mr. Grazel. Saturday. Saturday's daytime stream. I'm going to likely maybe try Sindel or another character. One of the characters that I liked during the story. And I'm going to take them into training mode for like maybe 25 minutes and just do basics. Then I'm going to do their trials for like another few minutes. And then I'm going to take them online. So it's going to be a little bit of offline play just to get readjusted and learn the character basics. And then go online with them. So that is Saturday's daytime stream. Yes, Maguro-san. Fall has arrived here in Seattle. We have shade, cooler temps, and precipitation. The three key factors of a successful autumn, and we have all three right now. Jay Dennis, I agree with you. He says, Mortal Kombat 1 does not look as good as Street Fighter 6. I agree with you. American Horror Story starts tonight. Okay, enjoy. Have a good time with it. I used to watch it. And I stopped watching it years ago. You know, it's like anything, you know, you enjoy it for a bit, but then you kind of get tired of it. It's not that it's the same plot. It's not. It redoes every year. But I kind of get tired of watching it every year, so. No, I never played Cars, the video game Willow. Sounds good, Jade. He says he's just going to talk during Starfield. He's not going to watch, but he'll be here for Lily tonight in Street Fighter 6. Sounds good. Abdullah, yes, I enjoy the outfits you can get in Lies of P. I hope they continue to add more silly ones. I like the silly ones the best. What's going on in the background? Like you said, there's a chainsaw massacre. We're preparing for October over here, so they're outside cutting the bodies up. Our neighborhood gore feast. Yes. If you see some red splattering on the lens, don't worry. I'll clean it off. It's all good. Bonos Tecmo says the Arcade 1-Up CEO and the Vice President of Licensing have both left. They're on life support. Is that true? If that's the case, I like to be honest, yeah, they deserve it. They don't make a good product. Every single time I've seen one of those cabinets in person, they are shoddy and crappy and low quality controls and everything. And I just don't understand why people keep being fooled and buying their cabinets. Their cabinets are not good. There should be a company that steps up that makes something much better for the same price, because it's very viable to do so. But Arcade 1-Up is so busy with that market share. They're holding that spot as the premier company to make collector cabinets, and they're just not good. They're shit. I couldn't believe how bad it was. I saw a NFL Blitz cabinet at Costco, and I walked up, and I started touching the controls, and they were so inferior. And the cabinet was tiny. It was supposed to be a 4-player cabinet. You couldn't fit 4 toddlers on that cabinet to play it. So I was like, what exactly are you paying for here? It's a tiny screen, a small cabinet, shitty controls, and people are paying like $800 for those cabinets. It's insane. Jade says, I love Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm not loving cameos or invasion mode. This is not Mortal Kombat. I unlock fatalities so slow. Yeah, like, well, when you say that, how do you unlock fatalities? I don't even know how to unlock the fatalities in the game. I know there's a way to do easy fatalities, but I think, don't you have to play certain modes to even get those? Like, I played online. I think I got 5 easy fatality tokens last night. I don't even know how it works. I don't. I actually, to be honest, I do like invasion mode. I think invasion mode is fun because it's a series of challenges and you constantly are unlocking new things in the game. So I'm actually enjoying invasion mode, but the audience isn't. The audience is multiplayer, 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 multiplayer. So it's like, oh, guess I can't enjoy myself with this mode. We got to do multiplayer. That's what everybody wants. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. Got to give the audience what they want, right? By the way, so guys, I just want to confirm, no one's tried to tip this morning, because we had a troll in here claiming that tipping wasn't working, but then I clicked on it and it seems like it's working. But I just want to confirm, no one's tried to tip and had an issue, correct? I know we have regulars in here, no one tried. It's fine, I'm not saying you have to try, I'm just saying I want to make sure there was no one that actually had a real problem, so. I think invasion mode is fun. It's unique maps. Yes, it's repetitive with the amount of combat, but you get to try various different characters and different cameos. I like that there's little gimmicks and secret fights and things, and you unlock. I like the amount of customizables I'm unlocking. I got a cool new outfit for Raiden that I used last night, that hat and everything. That was really nice that I got that through Invasion mode. You know, I never would have had that if I hadn't played Invasion mode. So I was very pleased. Oh, Jade says, once you level up your characters to level 14, then you unlock the other things like fatalities. I see. Interesting. Lady Charisma says, the thing with the arcade 1-ups, when they first started, they were so much cheaper. Nowadays, they're just overpriced junk. No, exactly right. That's exactly right. They started out probably lower price, but now, I'm serious, like a new cabinet's anywhere from $500 to $800. That thing ain't worth $200. It's not. They're complete ripoffs. Okay. Oh, itchy. What else would you guys like to talk about today? Remember, tag me in the chat so I know you're talking to me. No. See, Lionel says, man, I almost got the MVC2 cabinet. It's my favorite fighting game along with X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but I couldn't justify paying $600. And it was the biggest ripoff. Remember, when the online play came out, it didn't even work right, and it's shit, and no one can play online with it. Yeah, remember, they delayed the online play for like 6 to 8 months, and by the time it came out, there's not enough people to play it consistently to even get a connection, so it's a worthless cabinet. You can only play it by yourself, that's it, and the online connectivity, there's no point to doing it. It's a complete ripoff. Yes, I definitely like the combat of Lies of P much better than Wolong. For sure, I like it better than Wolong. Amplatory, I mean, why not? If you like the game, why wouldn't you get it? He says, should I get Lies of P even though I've been spoiled on the first 3 bosses? If you like the game, why wouldn't you get it, right? Yes, we all know MK1 looks like shit on the Switch. I already talked about that days ago. No one should buy it. When am I going to get Ralph Lauren polos? Yes, I'm going to buy lots of Ralph Lauren apparel for sure. For sure. No, as the weather cools down, all right, for the fall, if the weather stays cool, which it should, I'm probably going to get some longer sleeve shirts that I can wear on streams. You know, right now I'm wearing these short sleeve shirts for the summer. But, you know, in the next month or two, when the temps dip even further and I leave the window open, it's nice and cool in here, I can wear long sleeve shirts, which I likely will do. I like long sleeve shirts. I have a few button downs now, but I might look for cheaper ones too and add them to my wardrobe and have more variety of stuff to wear on streams rather than just t-shirts. Because I'll probably retire the summertime shirts once it gets cooler. Canadian Kirk says, it looks so bad, you wonder how it made it to market. Again, he's talking about MK1 on Switch. I'm not, why? Why are you surprised? People continuously buy the worst versions of games on Switch just because they only have a Switch. So they will continue to pump out horrible versions of games as long as people keep buying. If the game sells poorly, then they won't make it for Switch. But that's the thing, is people just keep spending, so why would they stop, right? Am I open to playing more Souls-like games in the future if they have promise like Lies of P? Lies of P is a unique situation. It's on Game Pass. I had absolutely no risk whatsoever in trying it, and it just so happens to be the best one. I played Wolong, far inferior, and I bought that fucking thing. No, actually, that one was on Game Pass too, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And that one sucked ass, right? I saw people play Thymesia. I saw people play that other one that was like a bunch of robots and shit. They sucked ass. They were terrible games. You know, I've seen these other games like, you know, this was the rarity. This was like the exception to the rule for me, so... No, I never fought the Dream Devourer, Secret Boss, and Chrono Trigger because that doesn't exist in the original game. So if you're saying that there's a secret boss, they never existed in the original SNES game, so I never fought them. Sweaters and hoodies? That might be too much. Like, honestly, sweaters and hoodies. I have a few sweaters. I actually, right before I moved out here, so I know this is, you know, you're talking 9 years ago, right? I actually had gone to a clothing store called, it's a Japanese clothing store, Uniqlo. And at Uniqlo, I lived in Connecticut. It was very cold in Connecticut. So I would actually I bought like nice long sleeve shirts, but sweaters and things. Like I had like a nice cashmere sweater and a wool sweater that I bought from this Uniqlo store. And I wore them maybe a few times when I lived in Connecticut. And then when I moved out here, there was no need for them anymore. Why? Because here we have moderate weather. It's never really too cold and it's never really too hot. Now, in the 9 years I've lived here, that has changed. We actually have more and more hot days every year because of global warming. So that has kind of changed. But as for colder weather, we don't really get that much. Maybe a couple weeks a year do we have weather even cold enough for snow. But for the most part, it's never really that cold. And the other thing you got to understand is I'm always in this office. And this office at any given moment has a PC, 2 monitors, speakers, this laptop, multiple game consoles, this TV, other equipment, all running. It's always ambiently much warmer in this office than it is in the rest of the house. Right now, if I walk into my hallway, it'll dip 10 to 15 degrees. That's how it always is. So, I never really had need for heavy clothing. I don't think if I wore a sweater in this office, I'd probably feel incredibly hot and uncomfortable. And it sucks because, like I said, I actually have nice stuff. I have sweaters and things I could wear, and I would never probably be able to wear it. I'd be too hot. So that's why you never see me with that stuff. All right. I received a tip, so apparently tipping is working. I got a $10 tip. Someone says, this is my first time watching you live. It's fun to see an active and friendly community. I'm going to sub. Well, thank you so much for the $10 tip to the anonymous tipper and apparently the new subscriber. Thank you so much. So now if you subscribe, you'll be able to talk within 24 hours in the chat. Sadly, I need that. There's no way to have it not be like that. Some people ask, why do you have sub-only mode to talk? Because once we had sub-only mode off, it was non-stop bots and troll accounts coming in here with absolutely disgusting things, saying racial things, sexual things, really nasty stuff, doxing people, and it was just a nightmare. So once we got sub-bullying in place, we turned that on. Pretty much we have it under control. Every once in a while, you get an idiot who comes in here with a couple bot accounts. We get rid of them. It's not a big deal, and then we're on to business as usual. So my apologies to the newcomer. Thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate that. And I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be back Friday with Lies of P as well as Street Fighter 6. So I hope that you'll join me on Friday for the streams, and you'll be able to talk in the chat at that point. So there you go. What's up, Juan? How are you today? $16 years? What do you mean, Canadian Kirk? What is 16 years? Exactly. I don't know. That's when Social Security runs out, ergo trolls will go bye-bye. What? Now that went right over my head. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Cosmo says, what tools do you lack for troll control? I'm asking out of curiosity. Like, what did Twitch have better? Just off the top of my head, okay? Some of the things that Twitch did do better. For example, let's say someone is in the chat and you're curious. Number one, is this really the person who they say they are, or could it be an impersonator? Or you're trying to remember, because, you know, let's be honest. There's different people come in here and out of here every single day. You don't necessarily remember who someone is every day if they're not a regular, or, you know, what you used to be able to do on Twitch is at a moment's notice, click on a name, and you could see the entire profile's history. You could see if that name has ever been timed out before, ever been banned before. You can actually see their entire chat history to see what kind of stuff they've said before. So if someone's in there and they're kind of saying suspect stuff, and you click and you say, oh my God, this person's got a history of doing awful things in the chat, they've gotten banned, they beg their way back, then they'll get banned again, then you know kind of how to judge a person. Versus maybe it's someone who's genuinely a newcomer who doesn't understand the rules yet. They're genuinely making an honest mistake, in which case maybe you want to be a little bit more lenient. Plus, again, you can easily tell if it's an impersonation account or not. Here on YouTube, you don't have any of that. It's a lot of on-the-fly stuff. Over on Twitch, you can control how long you wanted to time someone out, how long you wanted to ban someone for. You can't do that here. Here it's just like, in general, like a 10-minute timeout or a permanent ban, and that's it. There's no other things, no levels. Like I said, supposedly they're implementing the ability to time out for different time periods, but I don't see it yet. I was told it's coming, but I don't see it yet in the chat. So I had the feeling it's coming. You know, just in general, Twitch had a lot of different things. Why? Twitch's chat is based on IRC, Internet Relay Chat, which is a third-party company, and they use all their servers and their chat interfaces. They just put like a face over it to make it look like it's a Twitch page, but it's really not. You're actually using IRC. That's why you can actually get into a Twitch chat from a back door. You don't have to use the Twitch page to get into someone's chat room. I don't know if anyone knew that. Here on YouTube, what you see as chat is not actually a chat. You guys are literally right now talking on a comments thread as if this were a video you're watching on demand on YouTube, and all you're doing, it's an interactive comments thread. It's just a bunch of comments being posted. That's what YouTube actually uses for chat. That's why it's a lot different than Twitch chat. It doesn't have as much functionality. For example, we used to use something called penne points. It was channel points that you would earn by sitting in the chat. The longer you were there, it would give you a grade and a ranking. You would earn these points, and then we could use them for silly things like temporarily unlocking or editing emotes. Sometimes we had, oh, let's gamble our phantom penne points against each other. Let's say, challenge each other. Gee, will Phil get 10 wins today in the fighting game? Will Phil get 20 kills in this round of Call of Duty? And it was fun to do that. And you can't do that in YouTube chat because, again, it doesn't have anything to track that properly because it's not a real chat room. It's just a bunch of comments. So there's no way to track how long has someone been sitting in comments. It doesn't exist, you see? I've looked for third-party alternatives. They don't really exist. Some of the alternatives are like, oh, a chat bot that's just a points system, but then the bot essentially is like out of control because every single time someone does something, the bot will update. So imagine now we had a bot in here, and every 5 seconds it was spamming the chat with another thing about points. It's like, no, we don't need that. We definitely don't need that. So haven't found any real alternative yet, sadly, 2 years in. Cybers TV says, I just finished the Mortal Kombat 1 story mode. I enjoyed 3/4 of it. The ending wasn't good. I think everyone agrees with you. I think the ending was atrociously bad. Like, not even close to being good. It was a huge cop-out. I hated it. Oh, let's see here. Expand Dong says, a few weeks ago you said, I don't care about on-demand viewers anymore. Did that change with Lies of P? No. What I'm saying is, I can at least see patterns, right? Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what my on-demand viewership is. I'm being honest now. It's just not. The on-demand viewership doesn't really make me much at all in the realm of business-wise, okay? This time of year, sometimes I will see a small increase in revenue because ads around October, November, December get huge because of Christmas. So yes, if I get a little bit of more viewership around this time of year, which sometimes happens, I'll make a little bit of extra money on ads. But it's not a lot. It's definitely not. For me, the vast majority of my income comes from the crowdfunding on these streams. Again, super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, and tips. That's 90-some% of my income. I get a little bit from Patreon over here, and I get a little bit from ad revenue over here, but it's not a ginormous amount, okay? But, yeah, I still can look at stuff and kind of judge. And it's like Lies of P. It's a Soulsborne-style game. It's a game that everyone was excited to see if it was going to be good or not. It's been out for 2 days, and I look at my views, I'm like, I'll give you an example. Typically, whenever I'm playing a hot new game, within 12 to 15 hours, those videos will hit anywhere from 300 to 500 views a video, minimum. And then usually within a day, they'll get like 1,000 views. That hasn't happened with Lies of P, okay? Like, I got videos from yesterday's stream that don't even have like 300 views yet. It's like, whoa, that's crazy. It's a great game. It's a Soulsborne game. It's very challenging. What's going on with that? I don't know. You know, if it were Elden Ring, it probably would hit those, and I can tell you that because I played Elden Ring second run earlier this year, and it did get that attention. So I feel like it's just a factual observation. I'm not saying it because it really means that much. It doesn't. Like I said, the streams are doing very well. The streams for Lies of P so far, the 3 that I've done, every stream has gone well. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm noticing with the on-demand viewership, it has dwindled. For a game like that, it's weird because you would think, oh, it's FromSoft, right? But it actually isn't. So maybe that's why. No, I'm not playing Borderlands 2 again. Why on earth would I do that? All right. The Hated One says, you rag on YouTube all the time. Without them, you wouldn't have a platform to support your family. That's correct. So are you saying that just because you work with something that you should never actually give it constructive criticism? What are you talking about? So you should never ever validly criticize anything because God forbid that they actually do something positive for you, right? You have to understand something about YouTube, okay? YouTube will only get better when people give it constructive criticism. If you just let them say, just get away with everything, do whatever you want, it can only get worse. And it has gotten worse over the years. There's too many people who I feel are complacent and they don't speak up when there's things that absolutely need to be spoken up about and fixed at a site like YouTube. Especially a site that so many people are making a livelihood off of should know what's broken and needs to be fixed or needs to be improved. Why would you be a wimp just afraid to ever say anything to someone about improvement? Right? What kind of a life is that to live? Oh, well, YouTube is how I get some revenue, so therefore I should just keep my mouth shut forever. What? When in my life have you ever known me to keep my mouth shut about something that I feel strongly about? Name once I've done that. Right? Why do you think that so many people in the Street Fighter community were opposed to me? And, you know, over the years, why do you think all these people, you know? Remember, again, when State of Decay 2 was coming out and how I completely blew up the whole scene about people who were only getting paid to play it early, and that was why they were playing it early and saying it was good when they lied, and then the game ended up being shit, and I got shat on by so many big content creators because I was exposing them for being fucking shills. I mean, I've only done this forever, so if you don't know who I am yet 15 years in, I think maybe you should do a little bit of research. You know what I mean? But sorry, I think that I definitely should have the ability to state my mind on things as long as it's not just shitting for shitting's sake. I'm not. When I criticize YouTube, it's in the hopes that YouTube will improve and get better. Not that I'm just want to crap on it because I think it's fun or I can benefit from clickbait views of being negative. I didn't do that, did I? Do you think I'm going to title this podcast, "Oh, YouTube sucks"? No. There's a big difference there, you see? But I don't know. There's tons of people like that. Trust me. Why do you think a lot of content creators have gotten ahead? They're the ones that say everything positive about everything that benefits them, and they keep their mouths shut about everything else. And therefore, they become the chosen people who will always get paid promotions for every piece of content they put out. And they're the ones who everyone wants to put out on special events and fly them out to promote games because all they do is kiss ass. I'm the antithesis of that, all right? That's why I don't get those opportunities, because I don't give a fuck about them. You're correct, Abdullah. He says Street Fighter V is another example. Dead on correct. I was one of the few people within a few months of Street Fighter V coming out. I was like, guys, this game sucks. Here's all the reasons why, and I outline. Input delay, bad online play. The game is designed for pattern play. No footsies. I laid it all out for everyone. And that video actually did pretty good. And then everyone just kissed the game's butt for 7 years. Now Street Fighter 6 is out. Oh, Street Fighter 5 sucked. No shit. I told you 3 months in. But no one wanted to fucking listen to reason because they all wanted to kiss the butt of Capcom to be in favor with that community. You know? Just par for the course for me, man. I'm so used to it. Sword Dance says, what are my plans for October 12th? Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Wonder both come out. I'll play both games. There's your answer. I'll play both games. That's my plans. What'll be tough is because you know there's going to be games from right the week or two before then that I'll still be playing. That's going to be rough, juggling all that stuff. Yeah, Cypress says, there's literally YouTube channels that make money just talking bad about YouTube. The argument is a way to poorly claim hypocrisy. For me, I'm in a very unique position. Here's why. If I kiss butt, I don't benefit. And if I basically rip a new butthole to something in a negative way, I also don't benefit. By the way, the sun's coming out. That's why I look like I'm on fire right now. I'm a guy who's just, I'm in my lane. I make content for my audience, right? Very specific audience. Like I say, it's a curated style of content for a curated audience. And as long as I just make content for that audience, it doesn't really matter which way I go. But the thing is, I can uniquely be honest about the stuff that I do. Because it doesn't sway one way or the other. I'm going to have to close the blinds now. Because now the sun is coming out. If you can believe it. Ugh. Here I am. Oh, it's the first fall day, everyone. Nice fall weather. Let me get the blinds open so I can get fresh air, and then fucking the sun is coming out. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So, what else would you guys like to talk about? It's almost 12:30. You guys want to chat a little more, or do you want to end a little early? Get set up for Starfield. It's up to you. We could chat a tiny bit longer if you'd like. Let me know what you want to do here. You just got to tag me in the chat. Let me know. Am I playing separate ways? Not when it's new. I have too much stuff I'm doing right now. I've got to play Mortal Kombat Online. I got to keep playing Street Fighter 6 Online so I don't get rusty. Plus, there's a new DLC character. Plus, I got to keep playing Starfield. Plus, Lies of P is good. I ain't got time for a new game right now. We got to focus on what we're doing right now. Okay? What is my ultimate dipping condiment? I don't have one. But probably I've dipped more things in ketchup over the course of my life than anything else. But I do enjoy many different dipping sauces. Whenever I go to McDonald's and I get chicken nuggets, it would be sweet and sour sauce. Typically, if I go to another place, I usually get barbecue sauce. But fries, I almost always dip fries in ketchup. I know a lot of people like Thousand Island or even ranch or other things for fries. Nah, for me, it's always ketchup. That's like my go-to. Devin just did a super chat. Says, what's your take on the WGA strikes bleeding the games? Man, I don't know what's going to happen there. I know. It's pretty crazy to think that voice actors and mocap actors are basically going to completely freeze game production. But then again, we've been talking about this for years. That it seems like when it comes to voice actors and mocap actors for video games, they're just not treated equally with those who are in movies and TV, which makes no sense because video games are a bigger entertainment industry than movies and TV combined. So why is the industry that's bigger not treated equally? It doesn't seem to make sense, does it? So there, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to start taking things way more seriously, right? How does Starfield compare to Skyrim? I've already explained. The things that Bethesda does well, Starfield does very well. The things that Bethesda does poorly, like new stuff, you know, the space travel, building your ship, that stuff sucks. But its questing is top, absolutely top, when it comes to this style of game. So if you like that kind of RPG questing, you want to check it out, you know? In order to play the Modern Warfare 3 beta early on the 6th, you have to pre-order the game, but the open beta is the 8th. Yeah, well, I probably will do one session of the open beta, and that's it. I'm not pre-ordering the game until I play the beta. Much like with previous Call of Duties, it's too much of the same. So when that open beta is available, let me know like a day or two ahead. We will do a stream of it. I promise. I want to play it to judge, and we'll judge based off the beta if it's something I want to get or not. Right now, I'm totally not sold on it whatsoever. So... House of Knight says, I think Skyrim back in 2011 will blow Starfield away. I have over 100 hours in Starfield. I agree with you. The quests are great. Jock, I'm a special guest in everyone's videos. Everyone puts me into their videos in a negative light. I guarantee you whatever you're referencing probably references me in a negative light. I don't care. You don't have to come on my stream to tell me because I don't give two shits. You're just wasting everyone's time. No one even knows what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're speaking of, so you can stop. Thanks. You act like me being featured in a video negatively is some special thing. I don't give two fucks about any of it. It's not negative. Well, if I'm in a video and it's not negative, that's a rarity. That's actually a special featured rarity because that never happens. I'm always featured in a negative way. So I can't imagine I'm in a video and it's not negative. But if it is, wow. Shocking. Send the person flowers who made the video who just says something not negative about me. I can't believe it. There you go. Anything else, guys? Any other final thoughts? No, nothing to shout out. So, any other final thoughts or anything before we jump into Starfield here today? No, I'm never playing Cyberpunk ever again. You could stop asking me that question. I've literally answered that question the same way for the past like 2 years. No, I'm never going back to ever play Cyberpunk. I have no desire to. It's a waste of time. People keep asking me about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I said, if people want to see it, I would recommend you nominate it for the Halloween Marathon. It is a Game Pass game after all. And if you want to see me try it out during the Halloween Marathon, I'd be okay with that. But, you know, there will be threads where you can nominate games for the Halloween Marathon the first week of October. Travhausen, I have absolutely no idea, nor do I care when other streamers stream. And there's no point in bringing it up on my stream because I ain't going to take any kind of nonsensical bait that you would like me to buy. I'm not stupid. There you go. All right, I think it's time to end because no one's saying nothing. No one's asking me anything. We'll take a brief break. I will use the restroom. We'll come back. It's time to chill in Starfield today. I'm excited to chill in Starfield. Like I said, we're about to finish the Freestar Collective quest line. It was a very long quest line we did last week, and then we never got to finish it. I ran out of time. So we're going to do that first, see whatever the big reward is, and then move on. And it's up to you if you want to see me do another faction. I'm thinking we should do some of the Constellation questing because we haven't done it in ages. So we should definitely work on a little bit of that. But this will be a nice, chill, interactive stream. This is the kind of stream where we're just going to kind of talk with each other and hang out. It's not a super serious stream or anything. I'm happy for that. I always like having a nice, chill stream with my audience, okay? All right, guys, thank you so very much. Excuse me. I hope that you enjoyed today's show and everything that it entailed. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for interacting. Thanks for supporting. Thank you for talking. Thank you for watching. If you watch this on demand, thank you. Also, I'd like to say thank you. Okay. I'll be back Friday. I'm not here tomorrow. I know you guys and gals and everybody else get very sad when I'm not here. But I promise you I will be back. All right, on Friday. I'll be talking about my day off. I'll be talking about any game news, of which there'll probably be 700 pieces because it all happens on my day off, always. And anything else. All right, guys. Thank you so very much, and I will see you soon.